Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. A hearty welcome to all of you for this webinar on engineering education post COVID scenario organized by St. Joseph Engineering College, Mangaluru. With the current COVID pandemic situation constantly evolving, we at SJEC felt the need to communicate with aspiring students and their parents to take stock and provide clarity regarding admissions based on available information. Our experts will provide short sessions on three topics. First, adapting to online teaching learning strategies. Second, admissions to engineering colleges 2020-2021 current status. Third, careers in engineering current and post-COVID scenario. Before we begin, we request the participants to kindly note the following. Please type your queries or doubts in the YouTube comment section anytime during the webinar. Experts will answer your questions at the end. Please type your name, phone number, and email in the comment section. It will help us follow up with you. Please email us at sjec@sjec.ac.in or admissions@sjec.ac.in for any queries or guidance you may need after the webinar. Please call us at 99 729 32972 or 99 726 95974 for any queries or guidance. To begin with, I welcome Dr. Rio D'Souza, Principal of St. Joseph Engineering College, to deliver the session on adapting to online teaching learning strategies. Dr. Rio D'Souza is a part of SJEC from 2006 onwards. He has headed the Department of Computer Science and the Department of Computer Applications for several years. Dr. Rio has also served the institution as Dean of Academics and then as Vice Principal before taking charge of the college as Principal in 2018. He is an expert in the field of evolutionary computing and bioinformatics. Dr. Rio is also a highly recognized expert in the field of engineering education. I request Dr. Rio D'Souza to kindly take over. Over to you, sir.
Hello and good evening. Hello and good evening, dear viewers. We are happy this evening to bring this informational webinar to you. When this COVID pandemic broke out, a lot of disruption happened around us, and we know it worldwide. And so we are now in a post-COVID scenario. COVID will not go away. It is going to be a part of our life. And so we have to learn to live with it and we have to adapt. So we thought in this particular scenario that we should have a webinar to inform our viewers specifically on engineering education. How are things going to change? How can one look for new opportunities and vistas in this new scenario? And in this background, we have now come up with this webinar, and I welcome all of you to this webinar. Let me start my part of the presentation. Just give me a moment. As you can see, adapting to online teaching learning strategies is what I'm going to speak about. Let me dive straight into it. This will be the overview of my talk. I'm not going to read each and everything. I think this there on the screen. Have a look at it. I'm going to talk about adaptation, online teaching, learning, and how at SGC we are adapting, and finally a little bit of gazing into the crystal ball. And so I would like to start by making a statement about evolution. Evolution is a process that is been there ever since the beginning of time and is constantly going on and changing things the way that they are adapting and going on across the universe. So, when there are changes in the environment, adapting to change is a part of and parcel of evolution. Adaptation is a natural response to change. Adapt or perish, say, that's an age old adage. If not for adaptation, life would not have evolved on this planet. In fact, if one can say that maybe around 30,000 years ago, let us say adaptation to changes suddenly had stopped, then this is where we would have been today, being cavemen, trying to light a fire. But that has not happened. Adaptation has gone on. The world around has changed in so many ways, and there are so many technologies and so many things that have happened. And so, in this scenario, the learning situation, that is the situation where one gets educated, that has also changed. For learners across the globe, across the world, have changed. Learning sources have changed worldwide. Many of our young learners are familiar with so many of these channels that you can see on the screen. And everyone learns in different situations and scenarios. In fact, learning devices also have changed from small mobile devices to tabs and to laptops. There is a variety of devices people use. Some of them are stationary, that is, they are only used from one point, others are mobile. And then learning has also become very complex. When one learns, one has this device connected to so many other devices. There is music going on. There is so many other. There might be a joystick available. One might be playing a learning game. Even when gaming, you are learning for that matter. And then even people who create content for learning, for the teaching community, they also use this lot of devices when they create this content. So learning, teaching, all this has become more complex, in fact, and the learning needs have changed. As you know, the global challenges that we face today, whether it is global health, environment, whether it is education, security, or any of these global challenges, to solve these challenges, one's learning needs have changed. And in that context, the emerging technologies that are there to address these problems have changed too. And so you have this one problem being addressed from so many contexts. It might be a medical expert trying to solve a problem, one looking at the financing of it, the other side, the engineering aspect of it. All this goes together. And so learning contexts have changed. But look at education per se, look at the classroom. One has to think about that. But before I go into that, I would like to talk about the most recent major change that has come into our life, that is the COVID-19 pandemic. And this has changed everything. The screen shows you a graph where the impact on different industries is illustrated. In the bottom left corner are those industries which might not be impacted too much, whereas on the top right corner are the industries which will be impacted in a big way. Though education as the industry is not shown there, education comes somewhere in the middle of the graph. That is, there are changes, major changes in many ways, but in some places there might not be changes. But this is one, aspect of our lives, that is COVID, that is going to stay with us, and we have to live with it and learn to progress in no matter what. So, coming back to the impact on education, and I want to talk about the classroom as it was, let us say, about 300 years back. This is a painting which shows how a classroom would have been in the year 1720. And let us look at what you can say, a very modern classroom 300 years later, that is in 2020. You see This is in a major university classroom the way it is. And if you really look closely, you don't see much of a difference as such. Maybe a few signs of technology are visible, but then it looks like education-wise we have not moved much. You take up any other field, transport or anything for that matter, there have been major changes. So it means that we need to bring in change here because the learning needs have changed. We have already spoken about the learning needs, the learning context, devices, learners, learning sources. If they have changed, then why not change in education? And we realized this a long time back, and we said we have to really do changes in this. So we looked across the globe. We saw very, modernistic type of classrooms and learning environments, and we took up this as a challenge for transformations in our college at St. Joseph Engineering College. So we brought in many changes. We brought changes in the work culture of our faculty and our students, transformations in the learning environment, transformation in the interactions that the faculty have with the learners. In fact, these transformations were recognized by the Indo-Universal Collaboration on Engineering Education, which is a body of international experts in engineering education, and they awarded us this Transformation Leader in Engineering Education award in 2017. And you can see the picture where we are receiving this award. So let me talk a little bit about some of these transformations, and this will give you an idea about in what direction education is changing as such. One of the things is the transformations in work culture. And in this particular context, from the last 8 years, we have trained our faculty from a low competency in digital and online teaching to being highly trained. How have we done that? We have tried many different methods. And one which I would like to highlight here, only one, is the International Engineering Educators Certification Program, IIECP. This is an international program which is run by the IUCE, and most of this program is online. That is, the teachers undergo a nearly 4 month course where they learn how to interact online and how to do active learning for students in the classroom. And right now, we have 58 faculty who are internationally certified, and 32 more are undergoing the phase two of this particular program. This has helped us to change the work culture, not only of the teachers, but also of the students. And then there have been transformations in the learning environment. As I said, 8 years back, most of the learning in the classroom would be very minimally practical. Most of it would be theoretical, but today we have introduced so many different ways in which we go beyond syllabus, tinkering, engineering exploration labs, and so on. And this has brought in a very rich dynamic learning environment for our students, that we have a tinkering lab which get the students to do an automation project in the first semester itself. By second year, the students are exposed to design thinking and engineering exploration. And then we have a number of techno clubs, RKSTC for robotics, SE, BA for building racing cars, aero modeling, and so on, which offer a rich experience for our students, and industry-related centers of excellence such as LabVIEW, Cisco, TESOL, Festo, which give an exposure to the technologies which are important in the industry. And the third transformation which I wanted to focus on was about the changes in the interaction between students and the teachers. With online classrooms and course web pages, there is a 24/7 interaction that happens, and online classrooms and virtual labs are used very effectively. So our students have support to learn anywhere, anytime. There is a rich content developed by our faculty, and this support is there along with the faculty at the background to clarify and explain. And we have, subscribed for software systems such as MATLAB, LabVIEW, etc., and provided such platforms to the faculty and students so that they can practice from anywhere, anytime. So this is where online interactions have come to stay, and we at St. Joseph Engineering College have made this a part and parcel of our life. So what does the future hold for us? In this education context, adapting to post-COVID scenario is something which is going to be essentially focused on online learning. And I think our young learners are very much adept at this, and learning, online teaching and learning will take center stage. One might ask, what about teachers? Will they disappear? I think teachers as facilitators and content creators will not go away for a long time, even if artificial intelligence and artificial, uh, you know, avatars are created to take on the role of a teacher, but still, a teacher's role will not disappear for a long time. With this, I would like to close my part of the presentation. I thank you for giving me a patient listening. I focused on how online teaching and learning in the post-COVID scenario has changed so many things. The other presenters will present now. If you have any questions on one part of the presentation, please put it in the chat box and we will answer them a little later. So with this, I thank you for a patient listening. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for that insightful session. We now move on to the second session on admissions to engineering colleges 2020-2021 current status. To deliver this session, I welcome Dr. Vincent Krasta, Professor and Head of Physics Department. Dr. Vincent Krasta is a part of the founding team of faculty at SJEC. He has also served the institution as Dean of Students' Welfare. Dr. Krasta is extensively involved in the admissions related affairs at SJEC and is often considered an expert in issues related to CET and engineering admissions in this state. I request Dr. Vincent Krasta to kindly take over. Over to you, sir.
Dear engineering aspiring students and parents, good evening to all of you. Hope you are very safe and healthy. Education has turned out to be a concern amid coronavirus crisis in the country. We all have locked down in our own places for the past 2 months, panicking when the education is going to restart. A bigger question that everyone has, that when and how the admissions are going to take place for engineering. Today, I'm going to talk about the admissions to engineering colleges for 2020 and 21, the current status. I would like to show you the few slides. Admissions to engineering college 2020-21, the current status. Now, a big concern that we have, what will happen to the education system in our country? In India, we have more than 23 crores of students studying both in the lower level, in the graduation level and the post-graduation level. But in Karnataka itself, there are more than 6.5 lakhs of students studying in the PU level, and around 2.2 lakh students are studying only in the science stream. Now, a big worry for the parents and the students, that what will happen once the pandemic disease gets over and education system rebegins. What are our worries? First one is the completion of the pending of examinations. Exams, few exams have completed and some more examinations still pending, both at CBSE as well as at the state board level. Evaluation work has not begun, even though at the CBSE level, the evaluation works just started, but in the board level, it is not yet. Naturally, this has led to the delay in the results. Due to COVID, all the entrance examinations like NEET, JEE, CET, and all other relevant examinations have been postponed. However, a bit relaxing information is that most of the examinations have been rescheduled, like the NEET examination, which has been rescheduled on 26 July 2020. And one advantage is that they have extended the window for correction, since students studying all over the different places had given the examination centers at the different places. Now, due to lockdown, they are at their own places. An opportunity has been given to them from 15th May 2020 to 31st May 2020, so that they are able to make the corrections in their NEET applications. The JEE main examinations are going to start tentatively on 18th to 23rd July 2020. What about the Karnataka CET? Just few days back, the government has declared the holiday examination dates from 30th and the 31st July 2020. Also, an additional opportunity is given for the student to apply online from 8th May 2020 to 18th May 2020 before 6 p.m. Also, the students who have already applied the applications can do the corrections on their applications from 20th May 2020 to 22nd May 2020 before 6 p.m. More details you can see in ka.car.nic.in website. Meanwhile, what you do at home? Just relaxing or worrying? Update yourself and learn the skills using different platforms. The state government has taken the initiative to help the students of Karnataka to prepare for CET and the NEET 2020. A new site named Get CET Go, where a comprehensive study material in the form of synopsis, practice questions, chapter-wise tests, mock tests, revision windows are available free of cost for all the students registered for CET 2020. Some of you have been taking the coaching and some of you have taken the coaching before. You can talk to your teachers and try to clarify your doubts. However, you please stay engaged with your studies. Coming to St. Joseph Engineering College. The St. Joseph Engineering College is offering BE courses of 4 years, MBA courses for 2 years, and MCA courses for 2 years. And in BE courses, we have 6 different disciplines. The first one is mechanical engineering with 180 intake, electrical and electronics engineering with 60 intake, civil engineering with 60 intake, computer science and engineering with 180 intake, electronics and communication engineering with 120 intake. And we are going to come up with a new branch from the next academic year 2020-21, that artificial intelligence and machine learning with 60 intake. Artificial intelligence and machine learning is a hot topic in the tech industry, where students study advanced subjects like Python, automation, neural network, fuzzy logic, etc. There are 2 master degree programs. One is Master in Business Administration with the 60 intake, and Masters in Computer Application with the 60 intake. Also, the college offering PhD program for all the postgraduate students. Now, what are the modes of admissions to any engineering courses? There are three modes of admission for any engineering courses. The first is Karnataka CET. Second one is the COMEDK or KRLM PCA or any other related bodies. And the third one is the management. Now coming to St. Joseph Engineering College, what are the modes for admissions? The first mode of admission is the CET, where we offer 40% of our seats to the Karnataka CET students. The 30% of the seats we are offering to KRLM PCA, a private body, and the remaining 30% of the seats we are giving to the management quota, where all these seats are being filled under the management. Now, what are the admission details at St. Joseph Engineering College? We are filling the non-CET seats in KRLM PCA, which is Karnataka Religious and Linguistic Minority Professional Colleges Association. It is a private body similar to COMEDK, through which all the minority seats are being filled. AJAC presently is not the part of COMEDK. Students joining SJAC need not write COMEDK test. Through these examinations, the college is offering the scholarship for the meritorious students. And for more details, you can call to the college or meet the people at the admission center at SJAC. Why SJAC? SJAC, that is St. Joseph Engineering College, is accredited by National Board of Accreditation since 2013. And this is the only college for the past 3 consecutive times accredited by National Board of Accreditation. The faculty of SJAC qualified internationally and certified by international certifications. Around 32 PhD holders are working at SJAC presently, and more than 50 faculties are pursuing their PhD at various universities. The college is known for discipline and inculcation of the values. It is a green and digital campus, very close to the city limits, having just 8 kilometers from Mangalore. Has excellent infrastructural facilities, like a vast library, a big computer center, dispensary, counseling center, etc. The college has Wi-Fi enabled the entire campus. We have 500 Mbps internet speed, and the entire campus is CCTV surveillance. The college has excellent placements, incubation center, tinkering labs, where the students can use their brains and the minds to do something hands-on and learn from this. And this is taking place from the first grade itself, and later the students can explore their knowledge in exploration labs. The college has air-conditioned as well as non-air-conditioned hostels for both boys and girls. There are single bedroom and 2 students in a room hostel facility. There is a bus facility for the students from the different corners of the district, gymnasiums separately for boys and girls, excellent indoor and outdoor sports facilities, veg and non-veg canteens for the students. Now, to upskill the students can join the various clubs like SAE India, Automation and Robotics Club, Achilles Club for Solar Cell, and also the students can take the various kind of trainings like VACT. V speaks for values, A for aptitude, C for career, and T for training. A word of advice to all my dear students. You all are at home. Don't panic to get a seat in an engineering college. First, you try to complete your examinations and concentrate on the preparations towards the competitive examinations which are coming in the next month. during a free time, visit the colleges to find the facilities and other opportunities. I would say life is not about waiting for the storm to pass. It is about learning how to dance in the rain. Thank you for listening to me. And if you have any questions, you can just put across. We'll come back and we'll answer your questions. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for that insightful session. We now move on to the third and final session on careers in engineering, current and post-COVID scenario. This session will be delivered by Ms. Sangeeta Ferrao, Placement Officer at SJEC. Ms. Sangeeta has extensive industry experience as an HR professional. She has served the industry as a generalist HR professional for 15 years, recruitment being her niche area. She has handled many initiatives on a pan-India level in a leadership position. She joined SJEC in 2014 and has created a wonderful ecosystem of training and placements at SJEC. Under her leadership, SJEC has witnessed significant scaling up of campus placements and has become a preferred academic partner of established industries like TCS, Bosch, Infosys, Wipro, Amazon, Adobe, etc. I request Ms. Sangeeta to kindly take over. Over to you, madam.
Good evening to the parents and to all my dear students. You've heard the two esteemed speakers sharing their insights on how SJEC, an academic institution, has adapted digital teaching learning strategies. Some insights on admission, some insights on the entrance exams, and how SJEC as an institution of value, discipline, passionate teachers, and a home away from home for all these students. Many parents and students are always curious to know about placements when they come and approach for admissions. And I think I will share a few slides with you to showcase what's the current status of the industries as per the COVID situation and what is in store for you at SJEC in terms of the placement scenario. Let me take you on to my slides. Careers in engineering, current and post-COVID-19. COVID-19 continues to spread rapidly around the world. In India, if you look at the statistics today, there are about 53,000 active cases, 2,700 odd deaths. It is time for us to look and be cautious, follow the norms, stay safe and healthy back at home. This may be the time to reset. It's important that we relook at things that we do, the kind of lifestyle we have, the kind of timelines we are getting into. Never before has the world come to a standstill. This is first time ever for anybody on the earth that an entire globe comes to a standstill, right? We have the opportunity to rethink everything that we do. I'm sure many of us must have experienced staying back at home during this pandemic, how things are different and how differently we behave under these circumstances. Complexities within supply chain and a lack of current demand may have brought many businesses to a halt. But simultaneously, it is giving us the time to reflect, to restructure, and rebuild towards a future which asks us to be more conscious than ever before. Industries will bounce back. I'm sure the organizations have already started looking at this, the new norms coming up and how things are getting restructured. Let us look at some industries that have been badly hit. by COVID-19. Things coming to a standstill for a couple of months have really brought a lot of things down. Let us see some sectors. The automotive, the aviation, the travel and tourism, real estate, the MSME segments. All these are interrelated. The aviation, the travel tourism, it would definitely take some time to revive because people are stranded from traveling. They cannot move out their homes. Forget moving out of their homes, they can't travel out, right? So it's going to be difficult. There is a little relief on the MSME sector. If you must have heard, our finance minister spoke a couple of days back. There are a lot of funds that are being released to revive these industries. Hopefully, these will create some job opportunities in the forthcoming years. Saying that, there are some industries that have really looked at emerging or have gained importance. What are these? The media, the online entertainment. I'm sure many of you must have now switched on to Netflix, to Amazon Prime, to Z5, to Hotstar. I have myself too. So I think that's the mode the online entertainment is taking up the role. And this will continue once you get addicted to it, definitely. Automation, the redundant jobs are going to stop. Doesn't mean it will bring down the job market, but it's going to reskill the people. IT and data, the most important. Security and networking, relating to IT and data, this is going to upskill and is going to gain more importance. Let's look at what's the new normal. So this pandemic has taught of a lot of things, right? Other than cooking and baking at home, we've also learned a few more new things. Technology and the future of work. Technology for many businesses until now was a support function. So how do our students or children have been using the phones? It was majorly for an Instagram or a WhatsApp or a Facebook. But today it's become important because these kids have started using these for online classes, for e-learning, for completing their courses. Students in the school have started getting online assignments and things like that. So that's the major change. That's the future of learning as well. And many businesses are revolving around this. This will now become the backbone. May what come, we have to get accustomed to this digitization. Working from home becomes the new norm for most of them, right? Till now, 9 to 5 was the work culture. I think now it becomes 24/7. You have to be available at different country levels, and you are there at your own ease. So for some people, this has become, very easy. And maybe many of them were really longing to get working from home, but there are some who have really struggled. But we've learned, all of us have learned. Automation will gain momentum. Again, I say this doesn't mean it brings down the jobs, but that's going to be reskilling of a lot of processes that we are looking at. Something more, sustainable development models. It will be a little more new, more compact, more agile value chains that will emerge. Industries are going to look at how to be ready for such pandemics going forward. It will drive the employee and the labor productivity, and therefore it increases the efficiency as well. Something more, data is a new oil. Until now, I think this was the risk. Data will become very valuable, and whatever is valuable is always misused as well. So are the gold and the diamonds, and data becomes the more valuable thing going forward. Data and IT security will become even more important for businesses. Obviously, sitting at home, remote working, all these is going to take up a big uptick. How is the situation going to look in the forthcoming year, or maybe 4 years from now? Businesses will experience an increase in productivity due to reduced staff. People working at their own comfort zone. Somebody would love to work, at 12 in the night with a coffee in hand, and somebody would prefer to sleep at 12 in the afternoon. Automation will help people realize new skills, bring up new segments, and that's how the businesses will revive. Remote work will see an uptake. I think it's already started. Many of the organizations have already started announcing that they would look at minimum people to be there at their offices and have maximum people working from home. And that's going to be the new look of the work as soon. The burden on local transportation and travel ease. So less the people traveling, the less the burden on the transportation. And definitely this is giving rise to the digital workforce, which means technology will take the upkill always. Fewer roads, lesser traffic, and the environment will improve, looking at lesser pollutions. This will also give rise to new industries, some new job roles, some new expectations, and definitely some mandatory skills. Few things that you have to be upskilled with: the digital level, the technology that you want to use, how are you going to be training yourself. Learning is going to become a lifelong process. Let's look at some top 5 skills in the demand in the industry that people are looking at. Creativity and innovation, and this goes across the industries. This is not restricted to an engineering or a medical field, but this is going to be across the industries. Creativity and innovation, adaptability and flexibility. So the industries, the people who succeeded during this pandemic are the people who were the most adaptable, who were most flexible to take up their jobs as and when they were available or as and when they were asked to be available. Critical thinking, how do you imbibe yourself, how do you act in situations which are critical, is going to be another mode of looking at it. Communication, definitely. When you don't see people face to face, your body language doesn't come into picture, but definitely your written and verbal skills are going to be looked at. It's going to be very important for one to improve on these basic skills. Digital and coding skills, IT is the backbone, and definitely your digital and coding skills are also important. And all of us have learned something new, and this is going to be the new era of learning. So commitment to a lifetime of learning is going to be the next level. Leadership, of course, this is something that every other individual needs to look at and see how they can handle situations in such pandemic times then. Let's look at some hard skills. So what I spoke just now was about and personality. What are the skills that we as individuals have to develop to adapt to situations and to be, more flexible in taking up things? Let's look at some hard skills, which means some technology demands that we would look at, right? You have the cloud computing, it's already there. But I think it's going to gain more importance with you working from home, remote work culture, and things like that. Cybersecurity comes into picture because your data is going to be looked at. Networking becomes even more important because you're not going to see people physically. You're going to see people face to face over a Skype, over Zoom, over Zoho, and many other things, right? AI, ML, and big data. That is the jargons for the day, right? Everywhere, these are the buzzing words, and I'm sure everybody is looking at the next model for this. Data analytics coming into picture because that's something that is going to drive the future. Blockchain, again, the need of the hour in the skills that we would look at. So moreover, these are looking like something which is related to more of IT kind of a background. What is in store for the other guys? Let's look at some hard skills in demand. Automation, and everybody is talking about it. So how do you get away with your redundant processes, with your processes that take a lot of your time, which can be done by bots, which can be done by automating the processes, and you get more time to do something that's much better, that's more creative, that's more innovative. Lean manufacturing. I mean, all the manufacturing industries have come to a standstill in the last 2 months. And I'm sure companies like Maruti and many other are figuring out how is it that these manufacturing processes are going to be taking a turn. Digitization, of course, even in the non-IT branches, which is called as the core engineering branches, they're going to look at something like this. Yeah, generative design, the next model for the engineering guys. Design thinking, the new adaptation, the new rule that's going to come across, and this is going to be applicable across the learning skills that we're going to look at. Robotics, of course, many robots have already taken over a lot of jobs. You have, people who are there to do your recruitment process. So you don't need somebody to do recruitment these days. There are bots who will do the measure of the job and you only do the interview process. So this was the smallest of an example that I could give. But you have tons of them to look at when you ask for robotics. Engineers are known to be logical thinkers with excellent numerical and problem-solving skills. The career open to engineers are wide and varied. Engineering as a career in India has attracted students in a big way. Engineering is a multidisciplinary field with new discipline and branches being added advantage of science and advancement technology. But this is clubbed with always the training initiatives. So how do these students look at getting trained? What is it that we do at SJEC? There's a lot of aptitude training, there's technical training, there are a lot of assessments that goes on. There's something called a CLHRD where we teach students on values, life skills. There are Ignitia parts where people come from industry and talk to students. All this is done under a concept called as VACT. We stand for values, which is inculcated. I mean, students come back and say, what is it that you will teach me values at the age of 20? But that's something that never goes on. This is something that comes up with an upbringing, but it is for us to keep reminding them of the ethicalness of the value system that we want to build up, because we believe in building not only engineers, but an engineer with a life skill in him, right? So values, which is imparted right from the first year. We have aptitude classes, which is the base for clearing any online elimination for a placement perspective, right? So I'm heading towards placements from this particular slide. So aptitude becomes the base. It is nothing but your mathematics from 8 to 12 standard, right? So that's what we're looking at, career guidance and technical training. So in career guidance, we also tell them opportunities for entrepreneurship, opportunities to look at higher studies, and opportunities for taking up placements as well. So that's how we act, a very, very pride initiative of SJEC is launched and a very successful program. Let's look at some top recruiters. So whenever parents come or students come for admission process, they want to know who are the recruiters, what are the kind of companies, where will my son or daughter be after 4 years, what kind of companies will he get to attend. And so let me share some industry highlights of this institution. We are termed to be the satellite center for TCS. We are nodal center for Wipro. We are on-campus center for Infosys. We are preferred campus ambassadors for L&T Infotech. We are also the nodal center for Bosch. I have just put a glimpse of recruiters that we have. We have about more than 50 to 70 recruiters who come visit the campus every year and give the dream jobs to the students. Let's look at some placement achievements. I wouldn't say placement achievements, but these are the student achievements. You know, we have the brightest of the lot and we stand out of the crowd. How do we do it? Infosys certification. This is a difficult process, but we are the guys who have 5 offers, which was highest in Karnataka. Probably the only college in Mangalore. Doesn't make sense saying only college in Mangalore, but we were the highest in Karnataka. Cadence, every year we have the recruitment done, and this is a student from Joseph's who gets selected. This year we had the opportunity to bag a 24 lakh package. That was a startup company, the only college in the region to back up this offer as such. VMware, a networking company, the computer science grads or the ENC grads who don't like coding. This is another sector, guys, you can look at. Networking, which is taking the world by its storm, right? Every year we had consistent increase in hiring numbers, and these are high paying packages as well. We also had some core companies for mechanical and electrical grads where we got selection for AkzoNobel and Lam Research. I've just put in few highlights of the recruitments that we had. Indian Navy, every year a selection. A college cannot be more proud than giving their students for the defense sector. Something that the college is very proud about. And every year we have a recruitment for a defense sector as well. Your life, your college, your way. Transform yourself, transform the world. Start with a dream, finish with a future. Thank you for a patient listening. If you have some questions, please put it back in the chat box. We will respond to you soon.
Thank you, madam, for that insightful session. We will now address to the queries that have been posted. The expert will read each of the questions and will answer them.
Okay. Dear listeners, we'll take up questions. The first question which we will start off is, can I know the KCET rank cutoff for UG Computer Science and Engineering? I think Dr. Vincent can answer that.
Last year, in the first round, the CET rank was around 8,000. in the state level, within which that you will be able to get a seat. But every year, maybe around 400, 500, seat rankings are going to vary for the cutoff. But in the second round or maybe in the third round, the cutoff is going to change because there is a migration of the students taking place from one branch to the other branch. However, on an average, if you have around 8,000, you are able to get a seat.
Okay, this question, the second question is from probably a current student. What is going to happen to our exams? I would like to answer that so that even aspiring students can understand what is happening in this scenario, that the exams will be held, the final year exams probably in the last week of June, and then the exams for the other students will be in the month of July. However, it all depends on evolving scenario. This is the current, the status that we have. Let me move on to the next question. Are you going to start online teaching for the academic year 2021? Actually, online teaching and learning is going to become part and parcel of learning now. It doesn't mean that all learning will move online. So far, online learning was restricted to a very few faculty doing some sessions here and there online, but this is going to happen now almost in all subjects. Every subject will have, and every module of every subject probably will have a little online component so that the student becomes accustomed to it. So this is what is going to happen. So it will be blended mode. Most of it them will be face-to-face sessions and some will be online sessions. Let me move on to the next question. If students and parents are not able to come down to the admissions to doing admissions due to COVID, how will the college resolve this? Probably Dr. Vincent can answer this.
Yes. Now, due to lockdown, you are not able to come to the college. However, you can write to us by email. You can send your queries to admissions@sjec.ac.in, where we are going to send the online applications to you, where you can fill those applications and send back, and the admission can take place. This is the easiest mode. Or we have few numbers given to you. You can always try to contact the people and get all the relevant informations.
Okay. The next question is, what about non-Karnataka students who have not taken up any entrance exam? Sir?
For the non-Karnataka students, they are not coming under KCET, but they can write the examination under KRLMPCA, where we have a website www.kmca.info, where St. Joseph Engineering College is coming under KRLMPCA. The students can submit their online applications, and after downloading, they can send the application either to St. Joseph Engineering College or directly to KRLMPCA by paying 1,000 rupees as the examination fees.
Okay, let me move on to the next question. Are they going to take CET exam online this year?
No, so far there is no such news of online CET examinations. Since examinations are on 30 and 31st, so it is offline examination.
Okay, the next question is for Ms. Sangeeta Rao. Impact and importance of agri-tech. What do you feel, ma'am?
I think this is another industry that's going to emerge. Looking at the pandemic, we also have to give a lot of importance to food. So this is going to be an important sector where we look at the security of the food to be taken up as one of the most important aspects. So I think that's going to be another field which is going to have a good impact and growing in the future years there.
Okay, thank you. Next question. How effective is online learning? How well are we prepared? Well, online learning is effective to the extent that both the sides, are also effective. That is to say, online learning is a two-way street. The teacher has to be effective on one side, delivering the content, and the student on the other side has to be effective absorbing the content. When both of them gel well, that is, the student understands whatever is happening online and the teacher is able to make sure that the student understands, then the effectiveness is maximum. So it is a two-way street, and I think from our teachers' perspective, we are well prepared, and we are also trying to prepare our students to be very highly effective online learners. Let me look at the next question. Can we know more about AI ML course? The artificial intelligence and machine learning course, of course, we have applied, and the approval processes are still happening because of the COVID lockdowns. The approval process have not completed, but since we are very confident that we will receive approval, we are trying to, publicize that we are going to start this course. Uh, the syllabus is available in the VTU website, and if you look at the syllabus, it is quite state of the art. They have put in the very modernistic topics and the subjects there. As such, in the computer science branch, a lot of artificial intelligence and machine learning subjects were already handled. Our students of computer science already have machine learning lab, and they learn a number of subjects in this context. But the AIML course will have many more subjects. I mean, in the second year itself, they will start learning some part of artificial intelligence. And one of the things is we will be tying up with a number of industries to make sure that the students get a lot of input from industry and certifications for this course. So this is our focus, that we want to make our AIML course a very successful one. Let me look at the next question. We have many engineers arguing that there are no jobs. How will this change in the future, Madam?
This pandemic has definitely brought things to standstill, and automation taking up the turn. I think it's important people to reskill. Yes, there are layoffs because things are not moving ahead today, but that's not going to be the situation always. Why would an organization hire somebody? They need to suit the requirement of the company. And if you're going to learn only engineering that has been taught to you, the academic subjects that has been taught to you, you will always be at the back. You need to stand out of the crowd, and the jobs are available for people who upskill themselves, who skill according to the requirement of the industry. And that's something, that's the need of the hour. You have tremendous online courses. All the industries have come forward giving these courses free of cost. So people can log into these courses, acquire some of them, and they get directly hired by these organizations there. There is definitely a scarcity, but it's not that there are no jobs. Jobs are available for people who want to take up something that is different from the normal range that exists. So that's the answer for this question.
Okay, I think this is the last question here. What is the future of EEE students, that is the electrical and electronics engineering students at SJC? Well, I would like to take it in a general context, this question, not just about at SJC, but as such, electrical and electronic students. I think the future for them is as bright as ever. That is power, that is requirements of the industry and of the entire world are not going to, become less. Power is the oil that runs all these industries. And so the thing is that there is always a scope. The thing is, even if you look at, let us say, transport, electrical vehicles, if you look at the energy requirements, solar power, but then solar power to generate electricity. So there is always going to be scope for electrical and electronics students, because this is one of the basic requirements, basic needs of the society as such. Any fresh questions that have come up that we would probably look at, because we still have about a minute to go. Let me, read out this question. What may be the estimated reopen date for the next academic year? And can we get an insight of what would be the changes in campus after reopening? For reopening for the next academic year for current students, probably the date will be the 1st of August. And changes on campus, the campus is going to be the same. Only thing is we are equipping and trying to make sure all departments and facilities like office and everywhere there is a computer which is available for conducting online meetings. We are going to make sure that face-to-face interactions will reduce, because social distancing has to be kept in mind. Other thing is that probably the classes will be also following the social distancing norm, and we might have less students in each class and have staggered classes as such. So this is one of the other things that probably will happen. in the coming days, these changes will be notified. I think one has to make sure, one has to take courage that things will be done properly and systematically, so there is no need to worry at all. So one more question here.
I think we've got a message on the chat from one of our alumni. I would want to take his name and appreciate because he's been our proud alumni. His name is Rahul D'Souza, and he says it's very important for every student to scale themselves. So, I think somebody had said, not ask the country what it can do for you, but ask what you can do for the country. And it is like, if the jobs are not coming to you, what is it that you do to go and get the jobs up? So Rahul, I'm very proud of you to put this question up. And thank you so much for writing to us. You are a proud alumni of our college.
I think with that, yeah, one last question again, it seems, let me just look at that. We are also, at the end of our time here. Okay. Yeah.
What is the
Anil,
process?
Yeah, okay. What is the process of admission if a student is studying somewhere else in India, but parents are natives of Mangalore? Sir?
If the students have studied all together in Karnataka, they're eligible for Karnataka CET. But if a student studied only PU, but if their parents, either of them, studied in Karnataka at least for 7 years, the student is eligible for Karnataka CET. Beyond that, student can take an admission under either KRL MPC or under the management quota. Is not eligible under CET.
Well, friends, I think with this, we will wrap up this webinar. It's been a wonderful time for us here, talking to you and trying to address your queries. If you have further queries, as you see on the publicity material, there have been numbers which you can contact, and you have our website and everything available. Through this, you can always interact with us. We will be very happy to respond to your queries. We have an admissions department which is very proactive, and they will definitely help you out in every way. I would like to thank all of you, the viewers, for being with us, and we wish that you stay home, stay safe, and see yourself through this lockdown time. And when things bounce back to normal, I'm sure everything will be there to take things forward. So a word from my co-presenter.
Thank you very much, the viewers. You may have many more questions. You can always put across those questions either through the website or maybe you can call us directly. We'll answer you. And I wish all the students the best for the coming examination, especially for the coming CET NEET as well as the GE examination. Do well. All the best to you.
Madam.
All the students there and the parents there, do not worry. Everything that has a setback opens up new doors. So we are here and all of us are here to help you out, scale up in whatever we're looking at. Students, please utilize your time to upskill, to relearn, to learn new things, and nothing will stop you from getting ahead. All the best to all of you.
Thank you very much. All the best.
We have now come to the end of the webinar. We thank all the participants for joining us in this webinar. We do hope and believe that we were able to clear your queries and doubts. Kindly call us or email us for any guidance you may need regarding admissions to engineering. Thank you.